Welcome to This Just In with This Just In as your host, Justin Core. This is a show where we take a deeper dive into the stories, issues, and sometimes shows most important to you with the people who bring you those shows. And that is what This Just In is today. This Just In Director's Cut, because we are talking to our directors of This Just In today, our correspondents. First, Andy Kekel. Andy, you make this show go. Thank you so much for coming in, even though, I mean, you were going to have to be in anyway, so you might as well step in front of the camera. So, but still, thanks for being on air. I've asked a lot of people behind the scenes to come on the show, and they're like, "Nah, bruv, I'm behind the scenes for a reason."
Not for behind. Yeah. A lot of us have a face for radio. So.
Oh, you look awesome though.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for doing your hair this morning. I appreciate it. The beard looks on point, though. Yes.
Thank you. You came from on top of here, and it went right there.
Every morning, that's the job. Bloop, 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 bloop. Andy, talk to me about yourself. We're going to talk more about the Herculean task of making this show even look okay twice a week. But first, let's talk about you. Where are you from?
I am from originally Middleton, Idaho.
I've heard of it.
Born and raised.
Wow, back Middleton changed a whole lot probably from when you were a youngster. You're probably, late 20s. But still, even in that short time, it's changed a lot. What was it like growing up in, at that time, more of a rural town?
At that time, we had one stop sign. That was fun.
Wow, not even a stoplight?
And no. Growing up there, I mean, we had wagons still. I mean, it was interesting. No wagons.
You honestly got me for a second. I'm like, wait a second. I mean, there were probably wagons, but
right.
you also had cars and other
cars
ways to
a
get
little
around.
later. I mean, the 1900s, there was a lot mashed up in it. But being raised in Middleton, it was fun. A little isolated, small schools.
Yeah.
The best parts were going to ponds with some firecrackers, quarter stick dynamite, getting bullfrogs. I mean, everything's a felony these days, so I wouldn't do it now.
Not everything, just the crimes.
That stuff was simple, but now I understand what's right and wrong after that. But
fantastic. We all got to make those mistakes.
It was fun. It was 4th of July as kids. We would sneak in my dad's room, steal his lighter, and go light off fireworks. And the next morning, he reads the morning newspaper, and there's his kids with his lighter bending down, lighting off fireworks on the front page. So that wasn't good.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were like, I'm going to get my revenge on journalists by becoming one. Getting into the news.
Right.
Wow, I can't believe they narked on you like that.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't lie. I couldn't go backwards.
It
was apparent.
These people. This is a rag. The Middleton paper. You can't.
Middleton's a great place. It's not everybody was like that.
And that article, though truthful, factual, apparently, wow, the big stories back then.
You can't see that on newspaper. There isn't even newspapers. You can't see that on TV with a bunch of kids and a lighter lighting off fireworks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, absolutely. I did the same thing. Fireworks were the best. Then I accidentally almost blew up our front yard.
Oh.
And it was like, nah, I'm sort of over it. The appeal is gone. That only happened a few years ago, though. So, man, growing up in Middleton, you talked about going to the ponds. You love fishing.
Yes, I do.
The ponds. We can take
some
video of one of the many pictures of you celebrating your big catches right there. Not bad at all. Oh, look at that catfish.
Fun stuff, yeah. All
Fantastic.
that's local, too.
Around the snow whoa, look at that.
Big
These
carp.
are some stunning pics right there. Got the GoPro, and then there's probably your biggest catch right there. Aw.
Yeah.
Totes adorbs.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. It's my zen. I mean, everything crazy around here. It's nice to step out and listen to the water and the fresh air and catching a big fish and just yanking it around. I mean, and we don't eat fish. We're tired of fish. We catch so many fish. Not bragging, but we're just tired of it. And we either donate the fish if it's a keeper, or we usually let them go.
Wow.
Yes, I don't eat catfish. That we let go.
They're literally mudsuckers.
They're cooked right in the South. They're real good delicacy there, but that's in Marsing right there. That's pretty close by, right by the bridge.
In Marsing, they got catfish like that? Wow.
Yeah, and I use chicken, Kool-Aid, and garlic to get those guys.
Whoa, don't give away the big fishing secrets. Chicken, Kool-Aid, and garlic?
Yeah. Give it a try. They love it.
I might. I've always been actually kind of fan of catfish. You fry them up. I mean, they just taste like the fry, which
dirt
is great.
And whatever's fried in there.
How'd you get interested in news besides, again, just sort of trying to wreak your revenge on those journalists that outed you for blowing up stuff as a kid?
I started at the age of 15.
Wow.
And I got a job at old radio station KCID in Caldwell downtown.
Yeah.
AM station, and I just stacked carts and alphabetized carts. They were one step before a cassette tape. Then you move on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even before cassettes.
Even before cassettes. Got an FCC license at 16, and then I started a broadcasting class sophomore year in high school. And
they had broadcasting classes there at Middleton High.
No, I went to 4 different high schools. Okay. So broadcasting classes
running from the law, sure, yeah. No, that's a joke. Don't try to expose him again. Stop taking his. Have you seen this man? Where'd you go after Middleton? Then you sort of bounced all around. Right?
Yeah, Middleton, and then I ended up at. I went to Skyview High, Nampa High, Nampa Alternative, and Valley View High, all for broadcasting classes.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up at KIVI, directing there.
Never heard of it.
No, it's that place I had to go. So, it was fun. It was a good stint. And then I had a guy leave and go to Chicago in engineering. He called me up and said, "Do you want to go to Chicago? We have an opening." So at the age of 20, I packed up my car and went to Chicago to work at Fox there and a couple other places.
That is a big change. That was market number 3,
Market number 3.
Third biggest television market.
100-ish to 3. And that was
a change.
It was eye-opening. When I got off the bus, my first day, I looked at the high-rise and the skyline, and it was phenomenal. Yeah. I don't like it today. I'm over the Chicago thing. But it was beautiful, and so many people, millions of people.
Yeah. Well, here we have some video of the many people who you've met there, a lot of celebrities, and
Tom Green.
Tom Green. There were 2 pictures you sent in of him. I used just one.
Met him a couple times.
Santa and one of the Baldwins. I forget which one.
The Baldwin guy.
The one of the Baldwins.
I forget.
Fantastic. Hulk. Yeah, not Hulk Hogan. The Hulk, Lou Ferrigno. Fantastic. There you are trying to murder someone. Again, have you seen this man?
Rest.
Talk to me about your time in Chicago. Was it just sort of a whirlwind?
Yes, it was. It was it was a lot different than Boise. Tom Hanks, great guy. A lot of people, guests that come in are wonderful people.
Nice.
And I've met so many people, I forget names. I got a picture wall though, but I mean it was phenomenal, and the experience I had, working in a control room with 15 people, everyone's yelling and screaming, and then a guest comes in and Tom, and he'd come into the control room, and we're just everything's normal. Oh, I'm sorry for pounding. I know directors hate that, especially when people do this. Sorry, Ani. Anyways.
Can't believe it. Yeah. How'd you wind up back in Boise?
I wound up back in Boise. There was a position open here at KTVP, and I wanted to come home to family.
Yeah.
I decided to give the skyline and the big city a break and come back to the mountains. Mm-hmm. There's nothing looking at Bogus and trading that for the Sears Tower.
Yeah, and now we have a lot more of a skyline, speaking of things changing. But still, you're here at KTVB as a director. Someone comes to you and says, "Hey, we're going to do a streaming show with JustIN. Figure it out. Make it work." Is that how it happened? How did it happen?
That's how it happened. The boss comes up and says, "I want this yesterday." But the streaming show,
it's literally got to be this.
This is very creative. It's fun. You're loose on this show, and to be able to get all the gear on this used to take a while, but we snapped it together pretty quick.
Yeah.
There's some growing pains.
Growing pains is another way to say it. I sort of gave you the rundown of what I was going to ask you before the show. I always say that we're sort of building the plane in the air, and that we were just going to have to figure out what we needed equipment-wise and just even show-wise by just starting it. I'm like, let's just do it and figure it out. We did the pilot, and it's like, seems airable, so let's post it.
It worked.
I mean, do you agree with that? And I got to thank you for pulling everything together like you did.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, I agree. It was a little chaotic, but we have all the engineers and the bosses, and everyone sits in the basement in this think tank, and we try to figure out, what we're going to order. We want 1 camera. JustIN wants 3, so we make that work. And
I sound so demanding.
Under the bus business, by the way.
I thought there were already 3 cameras. We can just do it with 1, just me and my phone.
Right? Yeah. That wouldn't work.
It would not work. Well, it is streaming. How big do you think streaming is going to be just in the future of news? You have such a history in it. It's such a change for a lot of people's, a lot of shops. This seems like the future, though.
It is the future. It is now.
The present, I guess. Yeah.
It's 25 years in broadcast directing, and seeing in the last few years everything change. And for streaming or any video output to any devices is the thing. Everyone's doing it now. We're working diligently here in the newsroom on streaming and how we can take content out to everybody that's actually holding their phone live or at that point looking at it instead of going home and watching at night. Yeah. You get the news right off the bat. But streaming's the main concentration because nobody wants to wait till night to sit at home and watch anything. You can do it on your phone. You can do it while working and taking a break.
Were you about to say driving? Do not do that.
No,
don't do that. Okay, yeah. Unless you're just listening to it, then maybe okay.
Right? Yeah, that's how to do it. But streaming is the way, and butted up against that would be AI, which nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to hear, and it's a big pain in the arse. Yeah. A-R-S-E. And it's just with those two working together, it's been phenomenal for me because I'm pretty analog. But it helps everybody out.
You started with carts.
In the newsroom. Carts and yeah.
And now you're to this. But great people like you and our next guest, we're going to make it work. Andy, thank you so much. Real pleasure. Up next on This Just In, the other director, Ani, of this show, the person currently actually directing this show right now. We might be able to take a shot of there she is. Ani right there. Coming up next, she's going to trade places with Andy. I'm going to talk to her about why her favorite part of the day is directing This Just In. Welcome back to a very special Director's Cut edition of This Just In, because we're talking to our directors. You just met Andy Kekel on the first segment of This Just In. There he is right now, directing the second segment with literally his ducks in a row. Kejoining us now on, nice, dad jokes always hit. Look, it's the person who directed the first segment, Anika Mechikoff. Ani, can I call you Ani?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I thought that was your name, and then you're like, well, full name is Anika. So, okay, yep. Alrighty, appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. Yes.
Anika, Ani. Ms. Mechikoff. Where are you from?
So I was born in Hood River, Oregon. I live
Beautiful.
There. Beautiful area. Love the gorge.
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
Lived there for 5 years. And then moved to Colorado. I lived in Fort Collins, Denver, Pueblo. It kind of got progressively worse. My dad would call Pueblo the armpit of Colorado.
Look, anybody who's been through Pueblo or knows Colorado, we're not telling any lies here. Yes, tell her when she's telling lies.
It's not great,
she
but I miss my mountains for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some mountains here, not quite Colorado level.
Not like the Rockies, but it's okay.
It's arm of the
Boise
Rockies.
has pretty good mountains, I will say.
Yes. For like local mountains, absolutely. Easier to get up.
But then, I moved to North Idaho. after that, and then I've been down here. I've moved, I think my last count was 17 times, and I'll be moving again here in a couple months. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Lots
I mean, was
parts.
that tough moving around so much as a kid?
Yes, I was homeschooled, so moving schools kind of wasn't as much of a thing. We rode school
right.
all the time.
Yeah. I got the same teacher.
Pick it up. Yeah, exactly. Same teacher, same classmates. But we would do co-ops and different events with other homeschool kids, so we'd make friends kind of everywhere. So
interesting. Yeah. And again, around a lot of mountains, a lot of wilderness, gorgeous areas.
Yes.
That must have been cool. I mean, are you like, Andy, you like getting out in the wilderness, on the river? What's your favorite thing to do out there?
Yeah, we would definitely go hiking all the time.
Yeah.
My mom always made sure we had zoo or museum memberships, so we would be, out and about.
How'd you find yourself in Boise?
I went to Boise State.
Nice.
Kind of moved here at the wrong time. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
I moved here in the fall of 2020, knowing nobody.
What happened in 2020?
What happened in 2020?
Oh, yes.
The major pandemic type thing. So it was a little bit of a bumpy start getting into a brand new college and doing. I was going for broadcast television.
Yeah. How'd you get interested in news?
So I went to North Idaho College in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple degrees from up there. I took a journalism course just as one of my elective credits because I needed some. And my professor was like, hey, you're really good at this. Would you be our managing editor?
Nice.
So I ended up being the managing editor for the Sentinel. I've got these.
Wow. No big deal.
Sentinel.
NBD. Look at that.
Yep.
I gotta read. Oh, look at that.
But
profile, nice.
Yeah, so did those for a couple semesters. That was long nights.
Yeah.
Being junior journalists, you don't get a lot of people who actually want to talk to you.
Oh,
so figuring out stories and gathering all that and getting my journalists to go get good stories was a bit difficult, but no, we put out a whole magazine in a semester, which was it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot, and then I watched. Have you seen Morning Glory with Harrison Ford?
I think so. Yes.
So it's about a producer who's trying to revive this morning show. And I was like, that looks really cool. That looks fun. So then I kind of transitioned into broadcast, and that's where I've been.
Fantastic. Now, real quick, I got to ask you. When I hear your name, I think of one of the greatest singer-songwriters in history, Ani DeFranco. Were you named after Ani DeFranco? And if not, why not?
So I had to do a little Spotify search.
Wow. I feel very old right now.
Sorry,
Who is Ani DeFranco? 31 flavors and then some. Come on.
I think I might know a few of the songs vaguely.
Let's just move on. You're making me feel very old. How'd you find yourself at KTVB? And we have a little bit of video as well, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, so this
craft.
is me at the Sentinel when I was the
nice.
managing editor. That's my office. And then I did university television production with UTP with Boise State. So I was camera operator, producer, director, studio manager. I had my hands in so many shoots. Yeah. So many hours, so many blood, sweat, and tears. But
yeah, you saw all the cables on the ground for that last shoot.
So we had to wrap all the cables all the time, wrapping cables in my sleep. But,
but I'm sure you have the over-under thing.
I have the over-under down.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, you should look it up for next time you wrap up an extension cord.
And then it's going to be perfect for you. It's not going to get kinked up.
It's not going to be kinked up and twisted.
Exactly.
And
It keeps it nice.
Absolutely. When you tell people you work at KTVB, do they ask if you're on camera? And do they tell them yes, that you are in fact Maggie O'Mara?
I am the great Maggie.
That is Maggie O'Mara, people.
Right here.
She has her makeup off. Looks a little different. Hat on.
Don't have that kind of talent, unfortunately.
Oh, well.
But,
give it a few years.
Yes, I'm behind the scenes for a reason.
Oh, well, You're in front of the camera
I'm in
now.
front of the camera today. This is a special treat.
A special treat for everyone. Again, director's cut of This Just In.
Yes,
I believe you volunteered to help out on this show. Is that like a Hunger Games situation? You volunteer as tribute?
I would love to get into directing, and everyone kind of backs up and goes, she wants to do it. So,
she
you know,
wants to pilot
why don't you
train wreck.
You go for it. So, no, it's been a lot of fun. I'm happy to kind of take me and Andy taking that ownership of making this work, getting new things going, and
you have made it work. Yeah, absolutely. you and Andy, and I mean taking it from, again, just an idea where it was like, hey, Tegna, our big owner, like wants to do more streaming. Can you do that? It's like, well, I have the name for a show. This Just In. Clever pun. Can you do a show around that? Yes, I can. As long as I have of Andy and Ani, we're gonna make it work. Well,
we got it.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's awesome to have great journalists in front of and behind the camera helping me do things like this. Really appreciate it. Ani, we're going to finish up this director's cut of This Just In after this. Welcome back to This Just In director's cut. Take a live look now back at the cave where this show is being directed. Our fine directors, Ani and Andy, now back in said This Just In. Look at them working so hard, pointing at stuff, talking. That's the behind the scenes. You're not going to get anywhere else. I'm going to call this BTS, This Just In BTS, to try to capture some of that J-pop audience. We always ask for questions here on the show. Now, Ani and Andy are going to bring up some of those questions right here, and maybe full as well. We actually got some questions. Okay, here it is. Tell Justin for me that I'm very proud of him for growing as a person. Thank you. This was to Maggie, actually, my co-anchor on Wake Up, Idaho, 5 to 7 a.m. KTVB. And not, oh, no, hold on, wasn't done with that one yet. There we go. And not complaining about the heat, but I got to tell you, it's going to be pretty hot. It is going to be pretty hot, dear viewer. Thank you for sending that along. Also, thank you for saying that you're very proud of me for growing as a person and not complaining about the heat. I'm probably going to complain about the heat as well, though, because that's just what I do, even though I just like to be inside and crank that AC. Alrighty, next question. Again, I appreciate everybody actually sending questions in for once. Hey, hi, when are you guys going to have KTVB Plus on Android TV? Well, if you're watching this on Android TV right now, then now is when we're going to have it on Android TV. If you're not, then not yet. Really, all of these technical problems and questions and issues, those are all above my pay grade, and it's for the pay grade of the people, again, live directing the show right now, Ani and Andy. This is a question for you. How long are we on? When are we going to be on Android TV? It's a secret, y'all. It's a secret. They'll let you know later. Okay, finally, this person didn't quite understand the assignment, but again, I appreciate you texting in. They're trying to make me go viral like Mark Johnson did when people just started tweeting, Mark Johnson, Justin. I responded, me, Justin. Speaking of which, if you have a question or a comment for This Just In, maybe you want to congratulate our fine directors on making this show look presentable. They do an amazing job. Couldn't do it without them. Send that to 208-321-5614. And then you have like the body of the comment, and then the hashtag is Justin. Unless you want to just send a comment or question, just says Justin. That'll work too. I already used one. I can use a few more, I guess. Thank you for watching This Just In Director's Cut. Let's go back one last time to the VMix Cave. Ani, Andy, you guys are the best. See you next time here on KTVB Plus.